And brought to you live via St. Louis, Missouri, this is Bombers Game Mike. I'm Paul D, and this afternoon, the St. Louis Cardinals take on the visiting Baltimore Orioles, where the St. Louis Cardinals, I think we can all agree, are in desperate need of some kind of redemption. Now, that's a very biblical term there. Maybe it's a bit of hyperbole, but who cares? It's the friggin' case. They need to show themselves and us they can still play baseball. I get it's been 6 days, but woof, woof, woof. It's been a terrible 6 days. And I'm not going to pretend to you otherwise. I can be very charitable towards the Cardinals in many situations, but we are not in one of those situations right now. But with all the doom and gloom aside, join the Game Mike roll call. Let me see where y'all are watching or listening from. Let me give you the starting nine for both clubs this afternoon. Starting off with the visiting Baltimore Orioles. Batting leadoff at second base is Holiday the Younger. Batting second at DH is Pete Alonso. Batting third at shortstop is Henderson. Batting cleanup at catcher is Basala. Batting fifth at third base is Encarnacion Strand. Batting sixth in left field is Beavers. Batting seventh at first base is Mayo. Batting eighth in center field is Cowser. And batting ninth in right field is none other than Leody Taveras. Now, the starting nine for the St. Louis Cardinals. And this is a bit of a lighter hitting lineup today. There's no J.J. Weatherall. Obviously, Mason Wind is on the IL. So leading off at shortstop is Jose Fermin. Where doesn't he play? Batting second at DH is Ivan Herrera. Batting third in right field is Jordan Alexander Walker. Batting cleanup at first base is Alec Burleson. Batting fifth in left field is Joshua Baez. Batting sixth at third base is Blaze Jordan. Batting seventh at second base is Ramon Urias. Batting eighth in center field is Nate Church. And batting ninth behind the dish is Pedro Pajes. Now, given the very significant injuries in terms of IL stints currently, no Andre Pallante, no Hunter Dobbins, the Cardinals are sending out an opener today. And that opener is Gordon Graceffo. And that's really all I have to say on that part of it. But going for the Baltimore Orioles this afternoon is the 28-year-old left-hander Trevor Rogers. In 24 games this year, Trevor Rogers is 9-8 with a 4.14 ERA and 132 and 2/3 innings pitched. 114 strikeouts in that span and a whip of 1.24. And there are your starting nine. Stand by. I would also like to point out, and I do hope it's a good omen, that Cy, the rally cat, is out and about of his own volition this afternoon, partly to try to campaign me to feed him 2 hours early, but undoubtedly there's a part in there where he wants to serve his role in the most productive way capable, and that is helping lead to a Redbird win this afternoon. So join the Game Mike roll call. Let me see where y'all are watching or listening from. We're about 5 minutes away from scheduled first pitch. And leading off is Philip from Nolans. Paul, I think we have a live one on hand. Nola is muggy. I always imagine New Orleans is very muggy, Philip. It's just lodged there in the brain. Doge Bowl. Hello, Paul, and all from the beautiful Ozarks of South Central Missouri. Are you ready for some baseball? Yes. Yes, I am, Doge Bowl. Very much so. Brother Joe. Good afternoon, everybody. Brother Paul. Good afternoon to you, Brother Joe. Harold Houseman. Go Cardinals. You know it. Scooter. Good afternoon, Paul. Good afternoon, Scooter. Nice to see you. Justin Beasley. Good afternoon, chap. Be sure to smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Cheers to that, JB. Doge Ball, please hit the like button on the way in. All for that. DJ Nick Fly. Desperate indeed. Good afternoon, Paul, and great people of the chat. Cheers to that, DJ Nick Fly. There we go. Oh, it's Trisk. 2 days in a row. We have been so blessed. Okay, hello. I know you say hi. I say hello. Go Cards. I don't know why you say goodbye. I say hello. West Central Texas. You get around, Trisk. Richard Talley reporting in from Phoenix, Arizona. Cheers to Phoenix, Arizona. All right, let's see. And Jeff Coleman with the $1 super. Here it is, Jeff. In use. As it should be. And there you go. Yeah, that would be really nice. White Shadow. What up, Paulie D? Not too much White Shadow. Just trying to survive one day at a time. That much I am certain of. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, there we go. There you go. Right underneath. Yeah. Yeah, that's money right there. Perfect. So I hope y'all are having a wonderful Thursday afternoon. Day game after night game. Getaway day here for the Baltimore Orioles. And this weekend, the Cardinals welcome in the Pittsburgh Pirates. 4-3 at Busch Stadium. And I'm sure that'll be a thriller. Jalen Johnson, great to see you again, Paulie D. Cheers. Hope your day is going well. I think it's going about as well as I could hope for it to go. Quiet morning, which quite honestly is precisely what I always want. You know, it's funny, and I think I've said this on stream before, but it's absolutely true. And that is, the older you get, well, rather I should say, when I was growing up, something I remember my mom saying, oh, I know, Trisk, I know where you stand on that issue, is no news is good news. And as a kid, you don't really understand that. You can't even conceive of why no news would be better than good news. You can understand why it'd be better than bad news, but you just don't understand, period. And then you become an adult. And then the light bulb goes off on your head when you reach that level of sentience that unlocks when you reach, 18 years old or so. And you're like, oh, now I understand. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's a bit sardonic. It's certainly cynical, but it's not wrong. Taking the mound here is the opener, Gordon Graceffo, 7-1 with an ERA in the mid-3s. He's going to take on this Baltimore lineup for at least the first inning. No, I do not, Trick. No, I do not. 3.13 ERA, a 1.12 whip. Throws the four-seamer, a slider, a changeup, a curve, and a sinker. At most, even if Graceffo is brilliant, it's unlikely you get him for more than one inning, two very tops. I've never been a huge fan of the starter thing. It's just kind of the weird way it is, but hey, that's baseball today. Baez in left, Church in center, Walker in right, Jordan at third, Fermin at short, Urias at second, Burleson at first. Pages is behind the dish and battery mate to the opener, Gordon Graceffo, who's on the mound, your defensive lineman this afternoon for the Cardinals. He will face Holiday the Younger at second base, leading off for Baltimore. Man, you know you've been watching baseball a long time when you saw the entire career, which you can clearly recall, and then you see their offspring starting their own career in baseball. That is a moment when you begin feeling a little long in the tooth. No promises, Sam, no promises. So we're just a moment away here from scheduled first pitch. And here comes Holiday marching into the lefty batter's box. It'll be a righty-lefty matchup. He'll be followed by Alonso and Henderson. So stepping into the box is Holiday. Stepping onto the bump is Graceffo. Stepping up to the microphone is yours truly. And so the adventure's about to begin. Infield very much shifted towards right with the lefty Holiday. Common sets Graceffo at the Birds. The first pitch. Strike. Four-seam fastball in the inner third below the belt. And the count is 0-1, and we are underway. Baltimore and St. Louis in getaway day. Cardinals trying to salvage this one. And the 0-1. A changeup on the outside corner ruled a ball, and the count is 1-1. I'm glad you like it, Jord. Common sets Graceffo. And the 1-1 pitch. Swinging strike on the slider up and away, and the count is 1 2 strikes to Holiday. Holiday, the younger, is hitting .231 on the year with a .671 OPS. Nobody on, nobody out. Top of the first inning, no score. Graceffo sets at the Birds. The 1-2 pitch. Swinging strike 3. Down, hack, and goes Holiday for the first out of the inning. So Gordon Graceffo getting things started off there. It looked to be either a slider or maybe a changeup down and in, and Holiday just swung over the top of that. So nobody on with 1 out, top of the first inning, no score. Here is Pete Alonso, who's been a one-man wrecking crew since he got to St. Louis on Tuesday. Coming set is Graceffo. Righty-righty matchup, the first pitch. Strike, slider on the outside corner, and the count is 0-1 with 1 out. Graceffo sets at the Birds. The 0-1 pitch. A sinker on the inside corner, thigh high, ruled a ball. That could have been challenged there by Pius, and he most definitely would have won. Pete Alonso's hitting .276, 32 home runs, 91 RBIs in 133 games, and 881 OPS. You think the Mets miss him? Coming set. Now the 1-1. Fouled down the right field side and out of play on the sinker in, and the count is 1-2. As you can imagine, time has been granted by the home plate umpire at the best of Pete Alonso, who tightens up a batting glove and gets right back into the box. Back onto the rubber is Graceffo looking into Pajes. He comes set of the Birds. The 1-2 offering. A slider bounced out there in front of home plate. Actually hits the grass in front of home plate, and the count is 2-2. Infield defense playing way back and heavily shifted towards left field with the righty Alonso. And it's a 2-2 count. Graceffo comes set. The 2-2 pitch. Swinging strike 3. Down, heck, it goes Pete Alonso for the second out of the inning. And in that case, that was just, it looked to be a slider, maybe a sweeper down and away. Got him swinging over the top of that one for the second out. Now here's the shortstop, Gunnar Henderson, in 132 games, hitting .218, 20 home runs, 51 RBIs. Righty-lefty matchup, nobody on with 2 out, the pitch. There's a fly ball out to left field. Over is Baez, who makes the catch in left for the final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no walks. Nobody left on. After 1/2 inning of play, it is the Baltimore Orioles nothing and the St. Louis Cardinals coming to bat. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mic. Scoreless going bottom of 1. Okay. There we go. So is everybody having a good Thursday? I know every time I say that, I sound like I'm being cheeky or something, but it's absolutely being genuine. Are you having a good day? I'm curious. I want to know how y'all are doing. Great execution on the mound by Graceffo. Yeah, definitely. 1, 2, 3. Wow. Quote of the day, Jeff. That's exactly how I feel. So, due up in the bottom of the first inning, Jose Fermin, Ivan Herrera, and Jordan Walker. J.J. Weatherall clearly getting a day off, and boy, I think he actually needs it. And I can totally understand why. He has been there almost every day. Well, thank you so much, Sam. So, he will face Trevor Rogers. Well, rather, they will. Once we're back to the action, and we're past all the Google Cloud commercials here on Cardinals.tv. I love it how you pay for a subscription, and you still get advertisements. I know that ship has already sailed, but I'm not going to pretend I'm cool with it. Alrighty. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Jord. Oh, that's actually really cool, DJ Nick Fly. Roger Bassman went to get wifey smokes last night and slammed the car door on my phone. Screen destroyed. I'm sorry, Roger. I have been in similar positions with the Telefono here. It's a big pain in the rear end in so many ways. So, here's Trevor Rogers, a four-seamer, changeup, sweeper, sinker, cutter. The left-hander is going to face Fermin, lefty-righty matchup, the first pitch. Strike, four-seam fastball on the inside corner, right there at the knees. The count is 0-1. The way, the truth, the life, Jose Fermin aside being held up by the fans. The 0-1. Hit foul down the right field side. Giving chase to the first baseman in foul territory. He makes the catch. Does Mayo for the first out of the inning. So Jose Fermin fouls out for the first out. Here comes Ivan Herrera. Beavers in left, Cowser in center, Tavares in right, Encarnacion Strand at third, Henderson at short, Holiday at second, Mayo at first. Basayo is behind the dish and battery mate to Trevor Rogers, who's on the mound, the defensive lineman for the Orioles this afternoon. And the first pitch to Herrera. Fouled back on the four-seam fastball in. The count is 0-1. Hey, good afternoon from Lakeland, Florida. How's it going, Kevin Hawthorne? Thank you so much, and cheers to Lakeland, Florida. This is a lefty-righty matchup. He winds the 0-1. Strike, changeup down Broadway at the knees. The count is 0-2. Ivan Herrera's hitting .246, 14 home runs, 53 RBIs in 133 games, a .742 OPS. He winds the 0-2. Called strike three, sinker on the inside corner at the knees for the second out of the inning. So, Trevor Rogers so far making quick work of the top of this Cardinals lineup. Here's Jordan Alexander. Walker on deck is Alec Burleson. It'll be a lefty-righty matchup. Nobody on with two out. Bottom of the first inning, no score. Walker's in the box. Lefty-righty matchup. The first pitch to Walker. A sinker away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Looking in is Rogers as Basayo puts the command into his pitch comm. Surreptitiously, the 1-0. A four-seam fastball on the outside corner ruled a ball, and the count is 2-0. That second one there on the outside corner was close, but no cigar. He comes wide, the 2-0. Strike, sinker on the outside corner, thigh high, and the count is 2-1 to Jordan Walker. Looking in is Rogers, who winds the 2-1 pitch. Strike, four-seam fastball on the outside corner, thigh high. That was a very generous strike by the home plate umpire, and the count is 2-2. Looking in is Trevor Rogers, and time is granted by the home plate umpire at the behest of Jordan Walker, so everybody take a drink. Rogers looking in. He winds, kicks, and deals a 2-2. Called strike three. Four-seam fastball on the inner third, right above the knees for the final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no walks, nobody left on. After one full inning of play, it is scoreless heading to the top of the second inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. Well, that went quickly. Jordan Walker was absolutely disgusted with himself on that because it was clearly a strike. He knew it was, and he let it fly. Well, that's baseball, Susan. Hello, Rally Cat. How are you? Yeah, I know. I understand, Si. So, we are scoreless going to the top of the second inning. Due up for the O's, Basallo, Encarnacio, Strand, and Beavers. So, 4, 5, and 6 in the Baltimore order. Yeah, I know. And that's the story there. Strong execution by both starters on the mound. I respect these types of ball games. I do too. I just wish the Cardinals would play better in most of them. They have played so many one-run games. Well, we can try, see, John. It's mental gymnastics, but we can try. We could do it together. I'm not being sarcastic. I'd very much like to do that. Eugenio Suarez got released. I wonder why. So, I'm glad you appreciate that, C. John. So, Basallo, Encarnacio, Strand, and then Beavers as we wait through this Google Cloud commercial. And we're back to the action in the top of the second inning. The amazing thing about baseball is winning streaks are so hard to keep up, and before you know it, a losing streak can just take you over. It's the strangest thing. Righty-lefty matchup. Graceffo out there for his second frame. The first pitch. Strike. Four-seam fastball in the outer third at the knees. The count is 0-1. Yeah, be a good boy. Graceffo looking into Pages. He's from the stretch, setting up the Birds. The 0-1 to Basallo. There's a fly ball out there into center field. Going over a few steps to his right is Church. He makes the catch for the first out of the inning. And yes, Rally Cat has shown up. Rally Cat's going to start knocking stuff over. Just like he did with my Big Ben there. Thanks a lot, Si. And that'll be the first out of the inning. Yep, they got rid of Friedel too. It's interesting to see where they could end up. So here's Encarnacio Strand in the first pitch. A sinker on the inside corner ruled a ball. The count is 1-0. Encarnacio Strand in 31 games hitting .264, 7 home runs, 27 RBIs, and 820 OPS. He has one very long name. He is a huge cat, Uncle Sam. He is enormous. The 1-0 pitch. Swinging strike on the slider, up and in. The count is 1-1. This cat is 25 pounds skinny. There's no fat on him. It's all muscle. This cat is jacked. I don't think there's ever been a cat that has been described, a domestic house cat that's been described as jacked before, but here it is, the 1-1. Strike, sinker on the inside corner, down and in, and the count is 1-2 to Encarnacio Strand. Do you just want attention, Si? Is that what you wanted? Come and sit at the Birds is Graceffo. And the 1-2 pitch. A slider down and away and out of the zone. The count is 2-2. Possibly. I mean, he plays third base, so there's kind of a logjam there at the moment, but possibly. He certainly has something left in the tank. The 2-2 pitch. Hit foul down the third base side. Now to play on the changeup down and in. The count remains even at 2-2. Well, thank you so much, Zeke. Yeah, he's like Mad Cat from the Inspector Gadget cartoon, except he's not a tabby. Well, rather, a gray tabby. The 2-2 pitch. A slider well upstairs and out of the zone, and the count comes full 3-2 to Encarnacio Strand. The name Encarnacio takes up the entirety of the back of his jersey to the point where he has one of those big arcs. And they definitely could not fit in the hyphenation that included Strawn. So they just went with Encarnacion, and he seems down with it. Now the 3-2 pitch. Fouled back on the slider in. The count is 3-2. I hope so, Richard Talley. I do indeed. He's a good kitty. Old Cyrus the Great here. Coming sets Graceffo. And the 3-2. Swinging strike 3. Down heck it goes. Encarnacion Strand for the second out of the inning. How about that? Gordon Graceffo pitching his rear end off here. Rally Cat will be back. He always comes back, especially considering I know he's campaigning right now. Go figure. All right, righty-lefty matchup against Beavers, the first pitch. A changeup low and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. The Cardinals are wearing their home white tops and bottoms, birds on the bat, red letters and numbers with their red caps with the white interlocking STL on the front. The 1-0. Hit right up there on a hop to Graceffo. Underhand tosses it to Burleson. He beats Beavers to the bag for the final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no walks, nobody left on. After 1.5 innings of play, it is scoreless going to the bottom of the second inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. Scoreless going bottom of 2. When I hear his name, I always think of the Cards player that got in the batter's box. Cat Snow. Hey, Paul and everyone in chat. I'll be listening, but won't be able to chat much. We need a win today. And you said a mouthful, Cat, yes. So we're scoreless going bottom of 2. Due up for the Redbirds in the bottom of the second inning against Tyler Rogers. Burleson, Baez, and the Rook plays Jordan. 4, 5, and 6 in the Cardinal order. Yeah. Size enormous. Yet, despite his prodigious size, and the fact that when you actually see him in real life, he kind of looks like a wild animal, he's more domesticated than most people I know. And that most certainly does include myself. Very gentle. So we await the action to resume in the bottom of the second inning. I'd like to thank you all so much for spending part of your Thursday afternoon here with me on Game Mike. That's tasty. Alrighty, let's see here. Let's end this Google Cloud commercial, please. Feels like purgatory. You're in my life, in every facet of my life virtually. I don't need you here. All right, we're back here for the bottom of the second inning. No score. Burleson, Baez, and Jordan here in the bottom of the second inning. And they're doing the mid-game interview. Showing bunt, pulling back is Burleson. The pitch is called a strike on the sinker, down and in. And the count is 0-1 to Alec Burleson. Burleson's hitting .291 with an .839 OPS. And the pitch. A four-seam fastball up and in, ruled a ball. The count is 1-1. Mid-game interview with Dusty Blake by Cardinals.tv in the dugout mid-game, the 1-1. A sinker well away and out of the zone. The count is 2-1. I remember the time when the dugout and clubhouse during certain times were basically like sacred places you never let the media or anyone else broach. Man, those days are gone. The 2-1. Hit to the left side and into left field. Down the left field line. Coming over is Tavares by the line. He picks it up. So a leadoff single there by Alec Burleson. And the Cardinals have a runner on first. Nobody out here in the bottom of the second inning. So basically what Burleson did there was he simply hit against the shift. I don't know if he was trying to or he was simply late on the pitch. That is to be debated, but it was definitely the smart thing to do for the Cardinals, who really do need base runners right now. Now here is Baez, lefty-righty matchup, runner on first, nobody out. And the first pitch. Strike. Four-seam fastball on the inside corner. The count is 0-1. Thank you so much, Logan Harper. You can also thank Justin Beasley. He spent quite a time on it. The 0-1. Hit out there into left field, going over towards the line, and it's in for a base hit. It goes all the way to the wall. Going from first to third on the play is Alec Burleson, and there's a double off the bat to left field by Joshua Baez, and now the Cardinals have runners on second and third and nobody out here in the bottom of the second inning. In this case, to me, that appeared to be a four-seamer, maybe a sinker on the inner third below the belt. Joshua Baez just turned on the thing. Tavares had no shot at it. He was much more shaded towards center, and it went all the way to the wall. Now here's Blaze Jordan. He is at third base this afternoon. Lefty-righty matchup, the first pitch. A changeup down and in and well out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Infield defense heavily shifted towards left with the righty, Blaze Jordan. Coming set at the belt is Rogers, the 1-0 pitch. There's a fly ball out to left center field. Going back is the center fielder, looking up, and it is gone. A 3-run home run for Blaze Jordan, and that will give the Cardinals an early 3-0 lead. A 3-alarm shot for a Blaze, and the Cardinals have a 3-0 lead. Oh, Blaze Jordan. What a shot. That landed in the grassy knoll in center field. I'm trying to make that a thing now, so stick with me on that. And now the Cardinals have a 3-0 lead. He got all of that, folks. A straight shot out there into the grassy knoll in center. Not the original one, the one in Busch Stadium. Now here's Urias, lefty-righty matchup, the first pitch. Fouled back on the four-seam fastball up and away, and the count is 0-1. That 3-alarm shot by Blaze Jordan gives the Cardinals a 3-0 lead. Oh boy, what universe am I living in? Coming one, the 0-1 to Urias. Swinging strike on the four-seam fastball upstairs, and the count is 0-2. Urias is hitting 152, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs in 28 games. Missed a lot of time with tennis elbow. The 0-2. There's a fly ball out into center field. Center fielder goes back and a couple steps to his left, right in front of the track. He makes the catch for the first out of the inning. But yeah, that shot, oh boy, yeah, that was a four-seam fastball, basically down the pipe. He wanted to be on the inside corner. Trevor Rogers missed by a ton. Next thing you know, 10 feet past the wall in the grassy knoll in center field. 3-0 Cardinals. Now here's Nate Church, lefty-lefty matchup, the first pitch. A sweeper well down and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Nate Church hitting 243, 10 home runs, 44 RBIs in 114 games, a 663 OPS. Coming wide, the 1-0. Strike, four-seam fastball down Broadway below the belt. The count is 1-1. And Jeff Coleman with the $3 super. I thank you so much, Jeff. It's very much appreciated and very helpful. The 1-1 pitch. Strike, four-seam fastball on the outside corner, about thigh high, and the count is 1-2 to Nate Church. Nate Church has had a pretty good series. Of that, there is no doubt. Looking in is Trevor Rogers. He winds the 1-2. Hit out into left field. Given chase is the shortstop and called off by the third baseman, who makes the catch for the second out of the inning. So he kind of insided that out, got a little too underneath it. And so instead of a bloop hit to left, it was effectively a pop out. Now here's Pedro Paez, the 9-hitter this afternoon. It'll be a lefty-righty matchup. Nobody on with 2 out, 3 already in, 3-0 Cardinals. Coming wide, the first pitch. Strike, four-seam fastball whispers over the outside corner, about knee-high. The count is 0-1. Time is granted by the home plate umpire at the best of Pedro Paez. He's hitting .214 with 4 home runs, 11 RBIs in 75 games, a .584 OPS. Coming 1, the 0-1. A changeup down and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. And the pitch. Swinging strike. Correction, a foul tip, and the count is 1-2. Now, coming set is Tyler Rogers. It's a 1-2 count. The 1-2 pitch. Swinging strike 3 on the 4-seam fastball, up and away, and that will do it. So, 3 runs on 3 hits, no walks, nobody left on after 2 full innings of play. It is 3-0 Cardinals going to the top of the 3rd inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mic. Okay. There we go. So due up for the Orioles in the top of the 3rd inning, Mayo, Cowser, and Tavares, 7, 8, 9 in the Baltimore order. They sure do need to lock in all 9. So, Blaze Jordan, he's an interesting guy because I do think he has a lot of potential. And the power will manifest as time goes on. And he has a good sense of the strike zone. You know, he still has that habit of swinging at stuff outside of it, despite the fact that he has a very good sense of the strike zone. He doesn't strike out too much. He doesn't walk too much. And his contact has been pretty respectable. I mean, he's just under 250, I think. In fact, he's hitting 250 exactly at the moment. And that's the story there. So let's see where Ollie Marmol goes with the Cardinals pitching. Gordon Graceffo so far has thrown 22 pitches. 15 of them have been strikes as the opener. And then after that, it's anyone's guess. They have to find a way. All right, we're back here for the top of the 3rd inning. Mayo, Cowser, and Tavares, 7, 8, 9 in the order. Graceffo back out there for his 3rd frame. Credit to him. It's a righty-righty matchup with the righty Mayo at the plate. He sets at the Birds. And the very first pitch. Strike, 4-seam fastball in the inner 3rd, thigh high. The count is 0-1. Ah, yes, I completely agree, George. And he very well may. Oh, there's something I've always liked about him. I don't know what exactly it is. And the 0-1 offering. Strike, 4-seam fastball in the inner 3rd below the belt. The count is 0-2 to Mayo. Nobody on, nobody out. Top of the 3rd inning. 3-0 Cardinals. Setting up way is Pages. Graceffo deals. A curveball down and away and clear out of the zone. The count is 1-2. He was trying to get Mayo to chase on that. Mayo wasn't having it. Looking in is Graceffo, setting at the Birds. The 1-2 pitch. A slider down and away and out of the zone. The count is 2-2. Really trying to get Mayo there to go fishing. But no dice thus far. Mayo hitting .212, 17 home runs, 48 RBIs in 105 games, a .709 OPS. From the Birds is Graceffo. And the 2-2 pitch. Hit out there in, it is a pop-up, in fact, in the infield. Called off everyone by Fermin, who makes the catch for the first out of the inning. I thought that thing was going into center field. It did not. So a pop-out for Mayo. And here comes Cowser. It'll be a righty-lefty matchup. Hitting .223 on the year is Cowser. .692 OPS. Cummins sets Graceffo. And the first pitch. Strike, slider on the outer third below the belt. The count is 0-1. Now he comes set at the Birds. The 0-1 pitch. A changeup bounced out in front of home plate. It is most certainly a ball. The count is 1-1. No, there's a lot of game left to play, and a lot of pitching that needs to be navigated from this point. Now, the 1-1 pitch. A changeup down and away and clear out of the zone. The count is 2-1. Getting hot down in the Cardinal pen, the left-hander Justin Brule. I figured we'd see him at some point today. Graceffo sets at the Birds. Now the 2-1. Strike, four-seam fastball, inner third, right at the knees. Cowser's definitely giving a mouthful to the home plate umpire, who's had a very generous strike zone today, though it hasn't been challenged with ABS, and the count is 2-2. Generous on the corners, generous on height. It's a way to go. If you're a late 90s umpire. Now the 2-2 pitch. Hit to the right side, picked up on a hop there by Urias. He throws to first in time to get Cowser for the second out of the inning. So Cowser bounces out, 4-3 for the second out. And here comes Leody Taveras. You know, for the longest time, given the fact that he was on the IL for so long with tennis elbow, I think in both elbows at one point, I forgot he was even on this team, but Urias is back. Righty-lefty matchup. The first pitch to Taveras. A four-seam fastball on the inner third high, and the count is 1-0. Not so generous there. Graceffo looking in. Nobody on with two out. Top of the third inning, 3-0 Cardinals. He comes set. The 1-0. Strike, slider, down and in at the knees to Taveras, and the count is 1-1. Leody Taveras hitting .228 this year. Infield defense heavily shifted towards right with the lefty Taveras. The 1-1 pitch. A changeup down and away, and the count is 2-1. A fine way to spend a late August afternoon on a Thursday of all days. And the 2-1 pitch. Swinging strike on the changeup down and in, and the count is 2-2 to Taveras. Say that 3 times fast. Graceffo's back on the bump looking in towards Pages, who begins fiddling with his pitch comm. Cummins sets Graceffo. Sitting up inside is Pages. The 2-2. Fouled straight back in the four-seam fastball upstairs, and the count remains even at 2-2. A bit of a thin crowd this afternoon at Busch Stadium, but we can't be surprised. School is back in session. Those things matter. Graceffo sets at the Birds. And the 2-2 to Taveras. Swinging strike 3. Down Hackett goes Taveras for the third and final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no walks. Nobody left on. After 2.5 innings of play, it is 3-0 Cardinals going to the bottom of the third inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. 3-0 Redbirds going bottom of 3. Okay. Well, hey, I'll say this much. Gordon Graceffo, as an opener, has very much done his job. And I say cheers to that, folks. I mean, 3 innings out of Gordon Graceffo, scoreless. He goes out there, looks like Nolan Ryan. Roger Clemens. These just not things you expect. So due up for the Redbirds, they're back to the top of their order with Fermin, Herrera, and Walker 1, 2, and 3. All 3 of them are currently 0 for 1. Herrera and Jordan Walker by way of strikeout. So we stand by and await the bottom of the third inning. 3-0 Cardinals. Another Stiefel insurance commercial. Oh, that's just grand. That's just grand. So many insurance commercials, pharmaceutical commercials, Google commercials. Some nice establishing shots of the wonderful St. Louis Zoo here at Cardinals.tv. As we are nearly back to the action in the bottom of the third inning, Tyler Rogers will face the top of the Cardinal order. And the first pitch from Tyler Rogers is a sweeper away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. And the second pitch, a four-seam fastball low, even though it was down the pipe. The count is 2-0. Jose Fermin 0 for 1 the flyout, 238, 6 home runs. Looking in is Tyler Rogers, who winds, kicks, and deals. Hit down the left field line and well into the stands. The count is 2-1. Tony Lynn, go Cardinals. I just found your great site and clicked like and just subscribed to your channel. Well, thank you so much, Tony. I'm glad you enjoyed so much. And the 2-1 pitch, hit to the left side and foul. And it actually splintered his bat. Not completely shattered, but it's broken. And the count is 2-2. A very welcoming community here at Game Mike. Could not ask for better people. Nobody on, nobody out, bottom of the third inning. It's a 2-2 count. Here's the pitch. A cutter down in the dirt, blocked very well there by Basallo, and the count is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Rogers looking in and winds, a 3-2 to Fermin. Fouled straight back on the four-seam fastball up and away, and the count is still 3-2. Yeah, this community always does me proud. I like bragging on you guys. You're awesome. The 3-2 pitch. There's a fly ball out into center field. Coming in is the center fielder. He makes a basket catch on the run for the first out of the inning. So Jose Fermin flies out 8 for the first out. Here comes Ivan Herrera, who had a huge night last night. I believe he went 3 for 4. Nobody on with 1 out, bottom of the third inning, 3-0 Cards. The first pitch from Rogers. Strike, changeup down Broadway at the knees. The count is 0-1. .246, 14 home runs, 53 RBIs in 133 games. He plays pretty much every day. The 0-1. A four-seamer up and away, and the count is 1-1. Rogers is back onto the bump. He winds the 1-1 pitch. A sweeper down and in and nowhere near the zone. The count is 2-1 to Ivan Herrera. 3-0 Cardinals here in the bottom of the third inning. All of them on a bottom of the second 3-run home run by Blaze Jordan to the grassy Nolan center. The 2-1. Strike, sweeper on the outer third at the knees. The count is 2-2. Harold Houseman, 156 follow-up balls. D's amazing stuff. Hit that like button, everybody. The 2-2. A sweeper well inside, nowhere near the zone, and the count is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Thank you so much, Harold. Trevor Rogers takes a big old deep breath as Ivan Herrera gets back into the box. Nobody on with 1 out. He comes wide, the 3-2. And there's a fly ball out to left field. Coming in is the left fielder. He's underneath it. He makes the catch for the second out of the inning. So a quick couple outs here in the bottom of the third inning by Trevor Rogers. And here comes Jordan Walker, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. 42 pitches so far for Rogers. He looks into Basallo, who fiddles with his pitch comm, and the first pitch. Swinging strike on the sweeper downstairs. The count is 0-1 to Jordan Walker. He gets back into the saddle. Looking in is Rogers, coming one, the 0-1. Chop foul and rolls over to the Baltimore on deck circle, and the count is 0-2. Jordan Walker in some ways has been a real enigma after the All-Star break. Time is granted by the home plate umpire at the behest of Jordan Walker. Everybody take a drink. He gets back in the saddle. It's an 0-2 count. Rogers winds and deals. A sweeper well down and away, nowhere near the zone. The count is 1-2. Because he hasn't been bad, he just hasn't been hitting many home runs, at least not until the last 10 days. He winds, 1-2. Swinging strike three on the four-seam fastball, well upstairs. Boy, did he go fishing on that one, and that will do it. No runs, no hits, no walks. Nobody left on. After 3 full innings of play, it is 3-0 Redbirds going to the top of the 4th inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mic. 3-0 Redbirds heading top of 4. Okay. With the exception of J.J. Weatherall, because that's the easy answer, and I'm not looking for the easy answer. In terms of the current rookies that are on this Cardinal roster, it could be a pitcher, it could be a position player, even though I'm thinking more position player. Which one, and only one, do you have the most hope for developing into a productive and consistent player on the major league level? You can't choose Weatherholt. That doesn't count. That's the cheap and easy answer. But of the rest, and you only get to choose one, which is it? Let me know in the chat, because I get a feeling that there are probably some people that have thoughts on this. Undoubtedly. Now, due up for the Orioles in the top of the 4th inning, Holiday the younger, Alonso, and Henderson. So 1, 2, 3 in the order. Okay, Richard Talley says Baez. Okay. That's a fair answer. Follows the guidelines. I know there are other people out there who have thoughts. Hello, Cyrus. Welcome back. Yeah, I know. You're kissing my rear end because you want food, but it's too early. Another Baez. From Jeff Coleman. Okay. So, two votes in favor of Baez. Seems to be a minor trend here. Gordon Graceffo, 3 innings pitched, no hits, no runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts. Here's Justin Brule. 29-year-old left-hander, 0-1 in 59 games. In the first pitch is a sweeper on the outside corner, ruled a ball. The count is 1-0. Has a 0-1 record of 3.34 ERA in 64 2/3 innings pitched. The 1-0. Head out there into right center field. Coming over is Walker. A diving head first golf, and it rolls away. Does it count? Because it was actually in his glove when he had it. Going into second is Holiday. I don't know if they're calling that an out or not. It was an incredible effort, but Holiday is standing at second with a leadoff double here in the top of the 4th inning off of Brule. It looks like he didn't secure it in his glove. It came out when he hit the turf. Let's see here on the secondary one. I mean, personally, I kind of think that's a catch, but it got lodged out when he hit the ground on the head first dive, and they're calling it a double. So there you are, folks. Here's Pete Alonso. Runner on second, nobody out. Lefty-righty matchup. Cummins sets Brule. And the first pitch to Alonso. Strike. Sinker on the outside corner. The count is 0-1. Oh, I'm sure he is, Jeff. These guys are well prepared, more so these days for the media than they have ever been in the past. The 0-1. Swinging strike on the sweeper, down and in. The count is 0-2. I'm not saying he isn't being genuine, but, you know, given the era in which we live, they're being very careful with these guys, especially when talking to writers after a game, before a game. You get the idea. It's an 0-2 count to Alonso. The 0-2 pitch. A four-seam fastball on the outer third, just a bit too high, apparently, and the count is 1-2. Understood, Philip. Setting above the belt is Brule. The 1-2. Swinging strike three on the sweeper. Down and away. Down hacking goes Pete Alonso for the first out of the inning. And that was a pretty darn good sweeper down and away. Swung over the top of that thing. So runner on second with one out, top of the fourth inning, 3-0 Redbirds. Here is Henderson, the shortstop, who's 0 for 1. It's a lefty-lefty matchup. The first pitch. Strike. Sinker on the outer third above the knees. The count is 0-1. Brule sets above the belt. Holiday leads off second. The 0-1 pitch. Strike. Four-seam fastball whispers over the black of the outside corner, right about the knees. The count is 0-2 to Henderson. Gunnar Henderson, always a dangerous hitter. Holiday leads off second with one out. Cummins set is Brule. Now the 0-2 offering. Hit foul down the first base side and out of play on the sweeper in. The count is 0-2. Henderson is back in the box. Brule comes set. Now the 0-2 offering. And there is a high pop in the middle of the infield. Calling for it is Burleson, who makes the catch for the second out of the inning. At first, it looked like Blaze Jordan had the beat on it. Then he started having what appears to be a little bit of an issue fighting the sun. Then Burleson had an angle and a beat himself. Came in and called everyone else off for the second out of the inning. He really got Henderson to get under that thing. Nice job by Burleson. Now here's the catcher, Basallo. Lefty-lefty matchup with two out. The first pitch. A sweeper away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Basallo gets back into the saddle. Holiday leads off second with two out. Cummins sets Brule. The 1-0 pitch. A sweeper down and away on the outer third, ruled a ball. The count is 2-1. Basallo, Sam Basallo, is 0 for 1 with a line out. That one was to Urias. Cummins sets Brule, the 2-0 offering. Strike. Sinker on the inner third at the knees. The count is 2-1. Back on the bump is Brule. He sets just above the belt. Runner leads off second. The 2-1. Strike. Sinker on the outside corner, thigh high, and the count comes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. As Basallo steps out of the box to tighten up his batting gloves. Brule sets above the belt. The pitch. Chop foul down the first base line and out of play, and the count is still 2-2. 15 pitches so far for Justin Brule. here in his first frame of work. Holiday, the younger, is at second. Coming sets Brule, the 2-2 pitch. Hit right on up the middle, and it rolls ultimately foul. It takes a weird bounce, goes over the first baseline, and the count is 2-2. Basallo gets back into the saddle. It's a 2-2 count. Runner leads off second with 2 out. Brule sets above the belt. He deals. And there's a high pop-up behind home plate. Giving chase is Paez, but it goes a few rows deep behind home plate. And the count remains 2-2 to Basallo. I know, buddy. You still got an hour to go. Back onto the bump is Brule. Back into the saddle is Basallo. Holiday leads off second with 2 out. 3-0 Cardinals, top of the fourth. The 2-2 pitch. Swinging strike 3. Down flailing goes Basallo for the final out of the inning. So Justin Brule overcomes the leadoff double by Holiday. So no runs, 1 hit, no walks, 1 left on. After 3.5 innings of play, it is 3-0 Cardinals going to the bottom of the fourth inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mic. 3-0 Redbirds going bottom of 4. Okay. Okay. There we go. So there's a thing for you, folks. Justin Brule coming in, getting over that leadoff double. That's something. Hey, Eric, how's it going? You watching from work? Glad to keep you company, my friend. Welcome back. Oh, yes. One of those days where sometimes it's just a little hard to wake up, even with the advent of caffeine. As we await the action to resume in the bottom of the fourth inning, Tyler Rogers presumably will be out there for his fourth frame of work. Tyler Rogers has gone 3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 3 runs, all earned, no walks, 4 strikeouts, and that home run allowed. And has thrown 46 pitches so far. 32 of them have been strikes. He'll face Burleson, Baez, and Blaze Jordan, so 4, 5, and 6 in the Cardinal order. Okay. And we are back to the action. Yeah, they've been doing all right, holding their own this afternoon, Eric. I'll buy it. I'll buy that for $1. Here's Alec Burleson. 1 for 1. Scored on the 3-run homer by Blaze Jordan earlier. Lefty-lefty matchup. 3-0 Cardinals, bottom of the fourth. As we return to the action. Trevor Rogers is back onto the bump. He winds the first pitch. A 4-seam fastball well upstairs. The count is 1-0. He winds the 1-0 pitch. Foul ball on the check swing on the 4-seam fastball in. The count is 1-1. Hey. Good to see you, Justin. Hope everything's good at work this afternoon. Rogers looking in. He comes wide, kicks and deals. Hit to the right side and into right field for a leadoff base hit here in the bottom of the fourth inning. So, Alec Burleson now 2 for 2 this afternoon. Next pitch is Trevor Rogers, 50th. And it was looked like a sweeper, just down and in. Did not do what he wanted it to do. And Burleson went out there, pulled it into right field. So a runner on first, nobody out. Lefty-righty matchup. Here's Baez, the first pitch. Hit foul and rolls over to the Cardinal on deck circle. The count is 0-1. Burleson at first with nobody out. It's an 0-1 count. Baez is 1 for 1 himself. He doubled earlier. The pitch. Strike. Four-seam fastball on the inside corner below the belt. The count is 0-2. Baez 1 for 1 with the double and the run scored. He's been part of the party today. Rogers sets. And the 0-2 pitch. Swinging strike 3 on the four-seam fastball, up and away for the first out of the inning. Now, here comes Blaze Jordan, a 3-run home run in his first at-bat, out into the grassy knoll in center field. Runner on first and 1 out. 3-0 Cardinals, bottom of the 4th inning. From the stretch is Rogers. He deals. Foul back on the four-seam fastball in. The count is 0-1. Oh, wow. 28-degree launch angle. An apogee of 95 feet. 416 feet on that home run earlier. And the 0-1 from Rogers. Swinging strike on the sweeper down and in. Caused Blaze Jordan to fall down to one knee. And the count is 0-2. He's fine. He gets back into the box. Runner on first with 1 out, following the leadoff single by Alec Burleson. From the belt is Rogers. He deals. A four-seam fastball well inside. The count is 1-2. Rogers from the stretch. He deals to Jordan. Swinging strike 3 on the sweeper, down and in for the second out of the inning. So a couple of strikeouts following the leadoff single to right by Burleson, and that leaves a runner on first with 2 out here at the bottom of the 4th. Here's Ramon Urias, the right-hand hitter. It'll be a lefty-righty matchup. Runner on first with 2 out. Rogers comes set. The first pitch. Strike, sweeper down the pipe, and the count is 0-1. Trevor Rogers looking into Basallo. He sets just below the belt, and the 0-1. Fouled back on the four-seam fastball down the pipe. And the count is 0-2 to Urias, who's 0 for 1. Come in set. Now the 0-2. A sweeper bounces in the dirt. It's definitely a ball. The count is 1-2. We have an Orioles fan in the audience. Well, you're certainly welcome here. Looking in is Rogers, who sets below the belt. Now the 1-2 offering. Fouled back on the four-seam fastball up and in. The count is 1-2. They get themselves some more baseball as Urias gets back in the saddle. 0 for 1 with a flyout. Runner on first with 2 out, bottom of the 4th inning. 3-0 Cardinals. Time granted by the home plate umpire at the behest of Urias, who steps out briefly by tightening one of his batting gloves. He's back in the saddle. Rogers looking in. He comes set. He's from the stretch. The 1-2. A sweeper down and in and out of the zone. The count is 2-2. Infield defense for the Orioles heavily shifted towards left with the righty Urias. Being held on first is Burleson. Now the 2-2 offering. A sinker down and in, misses off the inside corner. The count is 3-2. 62 pitches for Trevor Rogers. On deck, Nate Church, 0 for 1. He sets the 3-2. And there's a fly ball out there to left center field. Going back is the left fielder. He looks up, and it is gone. A 2-run home run for Ramon Urias. And that will give the Cardinals a 5-0 lead. Oh, that thing just got over the wall in left center field, but Urias got about as much of it as you possibly can. And the Cardinals have a 5-0 lead. Let's see on this one. It was a sweeper that did not have enough vertical action on it. It basically hung down and in, and then Urias put it over the left center field wall, just over the gray bar advertisement in left center field. So 5-0 Redbirds here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And the first pitch to Nate Church. Strike. Sinker on the inside corner. The count is 0-1. And Jeff Coleman with the $2 super. I raise my glass to you that you gave me, Jeff, the 0-1. Pop straight up on the left side of the infield. Called towards the third baseman. He makes the catch for the final out of the inning. But not, well, 2 runs on one very big hit, one of 2 hits. That 2-run home run to left center field by Urias that has given the Cards a 5-0 lead. We head to the top of the 5th inning. It is 5-0 Redbirds. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. 5-0 Redbirds go in top of 5. Ronald Lyle, good afternoon. Just wanted to check in at work and hit my like button. I'll be back. It's always good to have you here, Ronald. Jimmy Otero, yeehaw! Yeehaw! If you watch Conan O'Brien in the 90s, you know exactly what I'm referencing. So, 5-0 Cardinals go in top of 5. Does Brule come out for a second frame? We shall see. Due up for the Orioles in the top of the 5th inning, Encarnacio Strand, Beavers, and Mayo. 5, 6, and 7 in the Baltimore order. An open question on the pitching choice. Where does he go from here? But 2 long balls by the Cardinals. 5-0 lead at Busch Stadium. That is becoming, it's been something of an aberration of late. Well, most of the season, I should say. They hit fantastically well on the road for the most part. But the long ball, though it does happen, is a good deal more rare at Busch Stadium for this particular Cardinal lineup this year. And so we wait out the Google Cloud commercial. Yes, sir. Now all we need is 5 to 7 more insurance runs. You're not wrong, C. John. You're not wrong. All right, we're back out here for the top of the 5th inning. 5-0 Cardinals. Brule is here, and the first pitch. Strike. Sweeper on the inside corner to Encarnacio Strand, and the count is 0-1. Lefty-righty matchup. He sets above the belt. The 0-1 from Brule. There's a fly ball out there into right center field. Going back is Nate Church, and it hits the base of the wall. He plays the carom, throws it back into second base, but that'll be a leadoff stand-up double for Encarnacio Strand, and the Orioles have a runner on second. Nobody out here in the top of the 5th inning. It really looked like he got all of that one, too. It looked like it was a slider that stayed up on the outside corner. He put it into the power alley in right center field. And it just, on the fly, hit the base of the wall below the Bet 365 sign. Just a bit to the left of the Cardinal bullpen. So a runner on second, nobody out, leadoff double. Now here's Beavers, who shows bunt and bunts foul on the sinker in, and the count is 0-1. Well, thank you so much, Brian Mitch. I really appreciate that. Which Oriole channel are you? Are you by chance Oriole bird watcher? Coming set above the belt. The 0-1 to Beavers. A sinker up and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Because if so, yeah, I'm familiar with you. But not always entirely from where you may think. I'll explain in a moment. The 1-1. A sweeper away and out of the zone. The count is 2-1. I believe I have seen you in the Dark Corner Studio Friday night live streams before. Is that accurate? Because I remember you mentioning to those two that you did an Oriole channel. I think it's you that I'm talking about. The 2-1 pitch. A sweeper down and away and out of the zone. The count is 3-1. I know that's a very niche thing, but small world on YouTube sometimes. Well, there you go. It's a 3-1 count. Runner on second, nobody out. The 3-1 to Beavers. Chop foul down the first base side and out of play, and the count is full, 3-2. On deck is Mayo. 5-0 Cardinals here in the top of the fifth inning. Justin Brule out there for his second frame of work. It's a 3-2 count. Setting is Brule. Runner leads off second. The 3-2. Chop foul behind home plate on the sinker down and into Beavers. The count remains 3-2. No, I've been watching those two for years on Friday nights. Back onto the bump is Brule. In the saddle is Beavers. Encarnacio Stratton leads off second. And Brule bluffs back towards second. Clearly having a little bit of an issue getting on the same page as Pedro Paez. Oh, a Ravens fan in the audience, are you, Richard Talley? You definitely go for the Birds, don't you? The 3-2 pitch. A sinker up and in, ball 4. And so Beavers works a walk, and that will put runners on first and second and nobody out here in the top of the fifth inning. The question really is here, how long do you stay with Justin Brule? I get you. You have a 5-run lead. That's all well and fine. But I can't help but ask. And here comes Paez to have a little chat on the mound with Brule. Whisper a few sweet nothings into his ear. I am back and ready for a big win. Smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Go Redbirds. Welcome back. So Corey Mayo is waiting to get back and get into the box. Runners on first and second with nobody out here in the top of the fifth inning. It's 5-0 Redbirds. Oh, we can only hope. We can only hope. Jeff, that'd be cool. So it's a lefty-righty matchup. Runners on first and second, nobody out. And the first pitch. Strike, sinker on the outer third, and the count is 0-1 to Mayo. Brule sets above the belt. Runners lead off first and second. The 0-1 pitch. Foul down the third base side and out of play on the sweeper down and in. The count is 0-2. Spread that Mayo. Love it. Mayo's back in the saddle. Brule's at the stretch. Setting up inside's Paez. Now the 0-2. A 4-seam fastball on the outside corner high, and the count is 1-2. You could tell the home plate umpire flinched just a little bit like he was going to bring him up, but ultimately didn't. From the stretch is Brule. The 1-2. Fouled back behind home plate on the sweeper in. The count remains 1-2. Runners are on first and second, nobody out. Infield defense very much shaded towards left. Brule from the stretch, the 1-2. A four-seam fastball up and away, and the count is 2-2. That pitch was essentially in an identical spot. The home plate umpire was far less likely and far less inclined to pull the trigger on that one. So it's a 2-2 count. Runners lead off first and second, nobody out. Top of the fifth inning. Brule sets the 2-2 pitch. Fouled back on the sinker away, and the count remains 2-2 strikes. I see we're getting into NFL rivalry talk down in the chat. Well, it is almost that very special time of year. 33 pitches for Brule in 1+ inning of work. From the stretch, the 2-2. Foul down the third base side. Now to play on the sweeper down and in. Mayo is hitting .238, 4 home runs, 31 RBIs, 8 extra base hits this year with runners in scoring position. Runners on first and second, nobody out. Brule sets and fakes back towards second. So this 2-2 count, interminable as it may be, will last a little longer. Cowser is on deck. Come in, set. Now the 2-2 offering. Hit to the left side, picked up on a hop there at third by Blaze Jordan. He throws the second one, and that is all he's going to get. He gets the force at second, and now that puts runners at the corners with 1 out here in the top of the fifth inning. I know, for a second I thought maybe double play gong, but no dice, and that'll be the first out of the inning. Doesn't mean it's not possible from here. Admittedly, the double play gong is probably the coolest thing since sliced bread. Of course, I have to give the credit to Justin Beasley on that one. He's the one who championed it. So runners at the corners with 1 out. Here is Cowser to face Justin Brule. It'll be a lefty-lefty matchup. Cowser is 0 for 1. Hitting .223. Runners at the corners with 1 out. The first pitch. Strike, sweeper on the inner third, thigh high. The count is 0-1. Oh for 1 with a ground out. Moo indeed, Brian, moo indeed. The 0-1. A sinker down and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. I'm kind of digging that Oriole flavor down there. Infield is playing very much shifted towards right with the lefty Cowser. Brule from the stretch. He deals. Swinging strike on the sinker down and away, and the count is 1-2. Yeah, the gong is quickly becoming a fan favorite here on Game Mike. From the belt is Brule. He deals. Fouled back on a sweeper in. The count remains 1-2 to Cowser. Who steps out of the box briefly, granted time at his behest, as he completely reassembles his right batting glove. You would think he was putting on a boxing glove with how much wrapping it has. He's back in the saddle. Runners at the corners with 1 out. It's a 1-2 count with Justin Brule here in the top of the fifth inning. 5-0 Cardinals. The 1-2. Sweeper away and out of the zone. The count is 2-2. .40 pitches here for Justin Brule. He comes set above the belt. Now the 2-2 pitch. Hit out there into left field, going back in front of the track. Baez makes the catch for the second out of the inning. Scoring easily, tagging from third is the runner, and that will cut it down to a 5-1 Cardinal lead. And there's still a runner on first now with 2 out. So a sac fly and RBI for Cowser. Now leave a runner on first with 2 out. And here comes Ollie Marmol. And you know what that means? It's time for a pitching change. Where is he going to go? Your guess is as good as mine, folks. He's going to Gastelum. Okay. Going to Gastelum to get 1 out. All right. Here are the current numbers on Luis Gastelum, the 24-year-old right-hander. In 20 games, I can't believe he's been up 20 games. He has a 3-3 record with a 5.16 ERA, 22 2/3 innings pitched, 28 strikeouts in that span, and a whip of 1.15. And that's the story there. He will face Leody Taveras, and if he gets on, he'll face Holiday the Younger. So Baltimore has 1 across here. Get that runner off of third. As we await this pitching change, in comes Luis Gastelum. Now, here's the interesting thing here on Gastelum, right? We've learned that he's not a 2-inning pitcher. But does that count when he comes in and tries to get the third out of an inning? And I guess maybe it depends on how many pitches it takes. Not much, Go Cards. How are you? As we sit and wait for the pitching change. Luis Gastelum, one of the more interesting options down in the Cardinal pen. And in case you're wondering, Yadier Molina is still very much in the Cardinals dugout at the moment. The Gas Man. There you go. We're here back in the top of the 5th inning. Runner on first with 2 out, 1 already in. It's a 5-1 Cardinal lead. That 1 run came on the sacrifice fly and RBI for Cowser on the fly ball to left. This pitching change is brought to you by Advanced Marine Service. Advanced Marine Service is the official marine repair sponsor of Bombers Game Mike. Cheers to that. I gave you the numbers on Gastelum just a moment ago. Righty-lefty matchup, the first pitch. Strike, sweeper on the outside corner. The count is 0-1. Leody Taveras is 0 for 1. Runner on first with 2 out, 1 already in. The pitch. A changeup up and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Leody Taveras struck out earlier. I figured it probably was, Justin. That's why I gave it a straight read. The 1-1 pitch. Hit foul and rolls over to the Baltimore on deck circle, and the count is 1-2. Gastelum gets back onto the bump. Those long brown locks longer than ever. He sets above the belt. The 1-2. A four-seam fastball up and away and out of the zone. The count comes even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. I wanted to do right by it, Justin. Infield defense heavily shifted towards right with the lefty Taveras. The 2-2 pitch. Fouled down the left field line and into the stands. Basically, a section deep. The count is 2-2. It's a surprisingly tolerable day here in America's heartland. The heat isn't so bad, and the humidity doesn't seem to linger quite as much to the point where you don't feel like you can breathe. There's a thing. Come in set. The 2-2. Swinging strike 3 on the changeup. Down and in for the final out of the inning. However, the Orioles, they do get 1 across. It is a 5-1 Cardinal lead heading to the bottom of the 5th inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. 5-1 Redbirds going to bottom of 5. Okay. All right. There we go. So, Luis Gastelum comes in, manages to strike out Leody Taveras. Due up for the Cardinals in the bottom of the fifth inning, Pages, Fermin, and Herrera, 9, 1, and 2 in the Cardinal order. Oh, I know, Dennis. That's part of the reason I'm mentioning it, is because just savor it while you can. It's going to be in the high 90s come the middle, well, actually early next week. I was looking at the weather report, and I was like, okay, fine, we get to do this all over again. Thank God for HVAC and central air conditioning. I don't think I could live anywhere where it wasn't offered. Probably with the exception of the poles, the Arctic and Antarctic. That's probably the exception. So we await the bottom of the fifth inning. Thank you all so much for spending part of your Thursday afternoon here with me on Game Mike. The Cardinals are doing their level best to salvage this third game of the set. Yeah, things have been going well so far, Harold. Still a lot of pitching to navigate, I grant you, but this we all know. Here's Pedro Pages, bottom of the fifth inning. 5-1 Cardinals, lefty-righty matchup. Rogers out there for his fifth frame. He winds, kicks, and deals. And there is a fly ball, really a pop-up in shallow center field behind second base. Underneath it is the second baseman, Holiday, for the first out of the inning. So one pitch, one out there for Trevor Rogers. Here's Jose Fermin. Nobody on with one out. Bottom of the fifth inning, 5-1 Cardinals. It's a lefty-righty matchup. Come in one, the first pitch. Strike, four-seam fastball on the outside corner above the belt. The count is 0-1. In fairness, Brule threw that exact same pitch twice, and it was called a ball. So I'm calling BS on that. Coming one, the 0-1. Hit to the right side and into right field. In the hole between second and first for a one-out single to right. And the Cardinals have a runner on first with one out here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Oh, well, thank you, Go Cards. It looked to be a sweeper on the outside corner knee high. Jose Fermin hit it the other way and amazingly found the hole. Granted, he was hitting against a shift, but it wasn't much of a shift. Holiday was well to the right of second. And the first pitcher, Herrera. There goes Fermin. Here's the throw. Here's the play. And he is safe at second base. A stolen base by Jose Fermin. The pitch is called a strike, but he steals the bag anyway, and the count is 0-1. Jose Fermin. A little grand theft second base. That was a very close play. Even after the throw had been gotten in there, I believe, by Holiday, he actually overslid the bag, and he missed the tag on him when he did. He was definitely safe on the overlay there. Oh, also, oh boy, yeah, that was close. He got his hand back in before the tag against his head. So a runner on second, grand theft second base for Fermin, who dances off second. Here's the pitch. A changeup away and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Ivan Herrera strikeout and a foul out. He's 0 for 2. It's a lefty-righty matchup. And time is granted by the home plate umpire at the best of Jose Fermin. Does a couple of pec stretches. Tightens up his batting glove. 70 pitches here for Trevor Rogers. Runner on second with one out. Rogers sets at the belt. He deals. A changeup on the outside corner ruled a ball. The count is 2-1. Rogers is back onto the bump. Herrera is back in the saddle. The pitch. Fouled back on the four-seam fastball on the outside corner. The count is 2-2. Be well, Harold, both you and yours. It's a 2-2 count. Fairmean leads off second with one out. From the stretch is Rogers. He deals. And there's a foul ball down the left field line and into the stands on the sweeper in. The count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Herrera gets back in the saddle. Fairmean leads off second. And time is granted by the home plate umpire at the best of Ivan Herrera. Well, thank you so much, CH, man. I'm looking forward to our game next week when the Cardinals out on the West Coast. The 2-2. A changeup down and in and well out of the zone, and the count is full, 3-2. Thank you so much, CH, man. Have fun at the library. On deck, Jordan Walker, 0 for 2. Couple of strikeouts. Now the 3-2 pitch. Hit down the left field line, and it is a foul ball. A very fortuitous turn of events for the Orioles. 75 pitches for Trevor Rogers. Back in the saddle is Herrera. Runner leads off second with one out. 5-1 Cardinals in the bottom of the fifth. From the stretch is Rogers. He deals. Ball 4 on the sweeper away. So Jose Fairmean works a one-out walk. Here comes Jordan Alexander Walker. And now they're coming out there to have a little word with Trevor Rogers out on the bump. The pitching coach and the entire infield. Wonder what they have to talk about. Jordan Walker's just kind of standing around, awaiting what might come next. He and I both. 144 hits this year for Jordan Walker. Puts him in some pretty good company. Alec Burleson has 149. He is on deck. So runners on first and second with one out. It'll be a lefty-righty matchup. Couple strikeouts this afternoon for Jordan Walker against Trevor Rogers. Rogers sets. And the first pitch. A sweeper away and well out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Oh, we're not fully there, Dodgeball. Not yet. We'll see what happens. Rogers sets the 1-0. Hit right up the middle into center field. In for a base hit. Picked up out there by Cowser. Going no further than third is Jose Fairmean. And now the pond is full of ducks, Thurman. The pond is full of ducks with one out here in the bottom of the fifth inning. And here comes Alec Burleson. And that was a four-seam fastball, middle. And he just sent it right back into center field. They were not going to test Cowser's arm, and that was probably a pretty good idea. He would have gotten thrown out by 10 feet based on where he was by the time the ball got to the cutoff man. Lefty-lefty matchup. The first pitch. Swinging strike on the four-seam fastball up and away. The count is 0-1. I think we all know what Alec Burleson was trying to do with that, with the pond full of ducks. Hits .293 with his career with the bases loaded. And the 0-1. Foul down the left field line and out of play, and the count is quickly 0-2. So the pond is full of ducks, Thurman. I don't know if you're out there, but the pond is full of ducks. Coming wide, the 0-2. Hit to the right side. Picked up there at first. He steps on first. Coming home and scoring is Jose Fairmean. And that will make it a 6-1 Cardinal lead on the ground out 3 from Alec Burleson. And that'll leave runners on second and third now with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. So Alec Burleson, runners on second and third with 2 outs. 1 already in for the Cardinals. They have a 6-1 lead. The first pitch to Baez. A swinging strike on the sweeper, down and away, and the count is 0-1. And Jeff Coleman with the $1 super. Thank you so much, Jeff. It's an 0-1 count, and the 0-1 to Baez. A sweeper down and in and out of the zone, and the count is 1-1. Baez is 1 for 2, doubled earlier. He winds the 1-1 pitch. A 4-seam fastball well upstairs. The count is 2-1. Runners on second and third with 2 out, 1 already in here in the bottom of the 5th. 6-1 Cardinals. Rogers winds the 2-1. Chop foul, rolls over to the Cardinal on deck circle on the sweeper away, and the count comes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Baez has all the power in the world if he's able to connect. 85 pitches for Trevor Rogers. Runners lead off second and third. The 2-2. Called strike 3. 4-seam fastball down and in for the final out of the inning. However, they put 1 more across and leave runners on second and third. It's a 6-1 Cardinal lead going to the top of the 6th inning. I'm Paul D. And this is Bombers Game Mic. 6-1 Cardinals going top of 6. There you are. So they managed to get 1 across there. Now that I have a moment. Yeah. Yeah, there it goes. Doesn't that look delicious? Product placement, folks. Product placement. That's what you get after years and years of watching QVC and the Home Shopping Network. And possibly Supermarket Sweep, even though that game show's been gone for a long time. Oh, how I ever wanted to play Supermarket Sweep. All right. So due up for the Orioles in the top of the 6th inning. Back to the top of their order with Holiday the Younger, Alonso, and Henderson. 1, 2, and 3. Holiday is 1 for 2. He had a double in his last at-bat, as you may recall. Now, do they send Luis Gastelum back out there is really the question. You imagine they probably will, but one can never be sure. And we're back for the top of the 6th inning. 6-1 Cardinals here on Getaway Day, the Businessman Special. Tomorrow, they have a 7:15 game against the Pittsburgh Pirates. I'll be live here at 7:05. Gastelum back out there. The first pitch to Holiday. Swinging strike on the changeup down and in, and the count is 0-1. Pete Alonso is on deck. Coming set is Gastelum. Righty-lefty matchup. The pitch. A 4-seamer away and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Some people are wearing those umbrella hats. Protect them from the sun. The 1-1. There's a fly ball out to left center field. Over to his right is Church. Camping underneath it, fighting the sun, shades down. He makes the catch for the first out of the inning. So Holiday flies out 8 for the first out. I tend to agree with that sentiment, Richard. Here's Pete Alonso, 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts swinging. Nobody on with 1 out, top of the 6th inning, 6-1 Redbirds. Righty-righty matchup, first pitch from Gastelum. A sinker on the inside corner ruled a ball. The count is 1-0. Come in, set. The pitch. Fouled back on the sweeper. The count is 1-1. My apologies, folks. I always sneeze in multiples of 2 or 3. Come in, sets Gastelum, the 1-1. Swinging strike on the four-seam fastball on the outside corner. The count is 1-2 to Pete Alonso, who gets back into the box. A formidable presence in the box, I will admit. He's had a very good first 2 games. The 1-2. A four-seam fastball up and away, and the count is 2-2 strikes. No, I definitely think we could live without having to see Riley O'Brien for a day of our lives. Gastelum sets the 2-2 pitch. Swinging strike 3 on the changeup, down and away for the second out of the inning. So Pete Alonso goes down flailing on that changeup, down and away. When Gastelum is right, it is a filthy pitch. Well, first off, thank you, Jimmy O. That's good to know. Here's the lefty Henderson, the shortstop, over 2. Righty-lefty matchup, the first pitch. A sweeper strike on the outer third at the knees. The count is 0-1. Nobody on with 2 out. Top of the 6th inning, 6-1 Cardinals. Gastelum sets above the belt and deals. Strike. Four-seam fastball on the outside corner above the knees. The count is 0-2. I don't know why the score bug is saying it's 0-1. Pretty sure it's 0-2. Yeah, it's 0-2. Game day never lies to me. Yeah, they finally updated it. You wouldn't believe how much I've struggled with the Cardinals score bug for Cardinals.tv all year. Common sense Gastelum, the 0-2. A changeup well down and in and nowhere near the zone. The count is 1-2. Bloody hell. Away you go. Gastelum sets, and time is granted by the home plate umpire at the behest of Gunnar Henderson. Another Oriole fan in the midst. Welcome aboard. Come set. The 1-2 pitch. Hit to the right side. Picked up by Burleson. He throws the Gastelum cover, and he beats Henderson to the bag for the final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no walks. Nobody left on. After 5.5 innings of play, it is 6-1 Cardinals going to the bottom of the 6th inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mic. 6-1 Redbirds going bottom of 6. Okay. So Gastelum, eh? How about him? The gas man indeed. I don't think they're going to push him for another inning. God help them if they do. God help all of us. Due up for the Redbirds in the bottom of the 6th inning, Blaze Jordan, Ramon Urias, and Nate Church. 6, 7, and 8 in that Cardinal order. Man, in these Cardinal.tv commercials, obviously they pump up the Cardinals a whole lot, and they show a lot of the big home runs from the mid to late 2000s and 2011. You wouldn't believe how many times calling games this year I've rewatched Albert Pujols' home run off of Brad Lidge, which I'm still not entirely convinced has landed, the better part of 20 years later. At the very least, it's a pleasant sight. Albert Pujols had the sweetest swing that I've ever personally seen from a right-hand hitter. The lefties get all the credit when it comes to the left-handed swing, but Albert had it just right for a right-hander. So we await the bottom of the 6th inning. Looks like Trevor Rogers is going to be going out there for his 6th frame. Thrown 86 pitches, 60 of them have been strikes. Jordan, Urias, and Church. All right. We back to the action, folks. Oh, ice cream sundaes. I like to play on words, Cardinals. Every Sunday at Busch Stadium. All right. It'll be a lefty-righty matchup here against Blaze Jordan with Trevor Rogers still out there on the bump. His sixth frame. 6-1 Cardinals in the bottom of the sixth inning. Nope, we have ourselves a pitching change. It's a right-hander, Sanders, and the first pitch. Fouled down the third base side and out of play, and the count is 0-1 to Blaze Jordan. Give you the numbers here on Sanders. Cam Sanders, 29-year-old right-hander in 18 games, is 1-1 with a 6.05 ERA. The 0-1. A slider down and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. A 6.05 ERA in 19 and a third innings pitched. 23 strikeouts in that span and a whip of 1.40 for the 29-year-old right-hander out of the Oriole pen. It's a 1-1 count. He deals. A four-seam fastball down and away, and the count is 2-1. Sanders sets at the letters. He deals. Swinging strike on the four-seam fastball inside. The count is 2-2 to Blaze Jordan. Looking in is Sanders. He comes set. He deals. A four-seam fastball down and away, and the count is full. 3-2 to Blaze Jordan. A 3-run home run and a strikeout swing. He's 1 for 2. Now he comes set. The 3-2 pitch. Called strike 3. Four-seam fastball on the outer third at the knees for the first out of the inning. So Blaze Jordan goes down in the observatory for the first out. And now here comes Ramon Urias, his last at-bat, a 2-run home run to left center field. Landed right in the first row. He made it a 6-0 game at the time. It's a righty-righty matchup with Sanders on the mound. He comes set. The first pitch. Strike. Slider on the outer third at the knees. The count is 0-1. Sanders sets at the letters. He deals. And there is a fly ball to the right side in foul territory over his Mayo, but it goes about a half a section deep, and the count is 0-2. Setting up inside is Basallo. Now the 0-2. A four-seam fastball up and in. The count is 1-2. Almost chin music. From the stretch is Sanders. He deals. There's a fly ball out to left field. Right there is the left fielder underneath it. He makes the catch for the second out of the inning. So Urias flies out 7 for the second out. Beavers barely needed to move on that one. And here comes Nate Church. It'll be a righty-lefty matchup. Nobody on with 2 out, bottom of the 6th inning, 6-1 Cardinals. And the first pitch. A four-seam fastball away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Nate Church 0 for 2. Nobody on with 2 out. Righty-lefty matchup. He comes set and deals. A changeup away and out of the zone. The count is 2-0 to Nate Church. Who gets back into the saddle. Setting is Sanders, the 2-0. Fouled back on the four-seam fastball up and in. The count is 2-1. I'm very glad to hear that, Philip. The 2-1 offering. A 4-seam fastball up and away, and the count is 3-1. Setting is Sanders. The 3-1 offering. Ball 4 on the 4-seam fastball up and away. So Nate Church works a 2-out walk here in the bottom of the 6th. Now, let's see here. Now, here comes Pedro Pajes, the 9-hitter. On deck is Jose Fermin, singled in his last at-bat to right. Here's Pedro Pajes. It's a righty-righty matchup. Leading off first is Church. And the first pitch. Strike. 4-seam fastball on the outer third at the knees. The count is 0-1. Strikeout swinging and a pop-out for Pedro Pajes. He's 0 for 2. Coming set is Sanders. He deals. Swinging strike on the 4-seam fastball up and in. The count is 0-2 to Pedro Pajes. Leading off first is Nate Church. They have a camera trained right on him. They think he's going to go. He looks over, does Sanders, but now comes set. The 0-2 pitch. A 4-seam fastball downstairs. The count is 1-2. It's like the broadcast is teasing the fact that he's going to take off running. We'll see. Sanders sets. He deals. A 4-seam fastball down and away, and the count is 2-2. Infield defense heavily shifted towards the left. Coming set is Sanders. The 2-2 pitch. A slider down and away and out of the zone, and the count comes full, 3-2. So there's a runner on first with 2 out. Bottom of the 6th inning, 6-1 Cardinals, and a 3-2 count here to Pedro Pajes against the righty Sanders on the mound in relief of Trevor Rogers. Leading off first there is Nate Church. Sanders comes set. The pitch. Check swing on the slider down and away. Did he go around? Yes, he did, says the home plate umpire, and that will do it. So, no runs, no hits, 1 walk, 1 left on. After 6 full innings of play, it is 6-1 Cardinals going to the top of the 7th inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. 6-1 Cardinals going top of 6. Top of 7. I'll be right back. Unfortunately, no. That is more time than it would take than the half-inning break allowed, Doge. He's going to wait. He's not happy about it, but he got fed rather late this morning anyway. He's been testing me since noon, and it's just his way. Like I said, very transactional. Looks like Quinn Matthews is going to be starting tomorrow night against the Pirates. 7:15 p.m. Central Time, first pitch from Busch. I'll be live here at 7:05 p.m. with the play-by-play stream here on Game Mic. Looks like we got ourselves Caleb Ferguson. It's a lefty-lefty matchup here against Basal. Here's the pitch. Strike, sinker on the outer third at the knees. The count is 0-1. 33 games, 31 2/3 innings pitched, 4.55 ERA. I gave him treats just before this began, so it's really more habitual than anything with the cat. The 0-1. There's a fly ball out into left center field. Over is Baez, who makes the catch for the first out of the inning. Oh, bloody hell. Okay, it's back. What was that? No, don't use that. Goodness. Technology, folks, am I right? So, one pitch, one out for Caleb Ferguson. Here's Encarnacio Strand, 1 for 2. Lefty-righty matchup, the first pitch. Swinging strike on the curveball, down and in, and the count is 0-1. 24 games left, 92 likes. In the box is Encarnacio Strand. Coming set, the 0-1. Hit to the left side and picked up there at short. He throws to first, not in time. An infield single for Encarnacio Strand, and that'll put a runner on first with one out here in the top of the 7th inning. I mean, an absolutely epic effort out there by Jose Fermin. He was throwing from shallow left center field. He made a headfirst diving stop, came to his feet, and threw it on a hop, and it just was not in time. So an infield single for Encarnacio Strand. Now the first pitch. A cutter down and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Here is Beavers, the left fielder. Runner on first with one out. Fermin's clearly looking a little disappointed. Coming sets Ferguson. He deals a sinker low, and the count is 2-0. Runner leads off first with one out. He comes set of the Birds. And the 2-0. A four-seam fastball away. The count is 3-0. Caleb Ferguson sets and deals. Strike, sinker on the inner third, right at the knees. The count is 3-1. Dylan Beavers taken all the way. A ground out and a walk. He's 0 for 1. Time is granted by the home plate umpire at the behest of Beavers. Count is 3-1. Runner on first with one out. Top of the 7th inning, 6-1 Cardinals. Coming sets Ferguson. And the 3-1. A four-seam fastball down and away for ball 4. So that puts runners on first and second with one out here in the top of the 7th inning. And here comes the first baseman, Mayo, with 2 on and 1 out. Getting hot down there in the pen is Ryan Stanek. Hold on to your butts. Coming set, lefty-righty matchup. First pitch. A slurve in the dirt, and the count is 1-0. Mayo gets back in the box. He's 0 for 2. Runners on first and second with one out. Setting at the Birds is Ferguson. The 1-0 pitch. Fouled straight back on the sinker, up and away, and the count is 1-1. As Mayo very slowly gets back in the saddle, with Ferguson back on the bump. He sets at the Birds. The 1-1. There's a fly ball out to center field, going back, looking up, and it is long gone. A 3-run home run off the bat of Mayo, and that will cut it down to a 6-4 Cardinal lead. Oh, he got all of that one just to the left of the grassy knoll in center for Mayo, and that has cut it down to a 6-4 Cardinal lead. An absolute no-doubter to center field. It looked like a sweeper or a slider that hung up on the outer third, and he just absolutely unloaded on that thing, went beyond the National Car Rental sign just to the left of the grassy knoll in center field. So now nobody on with 1 out, 3 already in. Here is the center fielder, Cowser, 0 for 1, lefty-lefty matchup, the first pitch. Foul back on the sinker in, the count is 0-1. Cowser gets back in the saddle. Ferguson sets. And deals. And there's a fly ball down the left field line and into the stands. The cutter in. The count is 0-2. Ferguson looks into Pages. From the stretch. The 0-2. Swinging strike 3. Down, hacking, he goes for the second out of the inning. Well, after that 3-run bomb-ola, it's about all you can ask for. Here's Leody Taveras, the 9-hitter, 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. Nobody on with 2 out, top of the 7th inning, 6-4 Cardinals. And the pitch. A 4-seam fastball in the dirt. The count is 1-0. I think the only time he has, Justin, was in his very first appearance. No dice since. Ferguson sets and deals. A sinker away, ruled a ball. The count is 2-0. Leody Taveras, a pair of strikeouts swinging. Ferguson sets at the Birds. Now the 2-0 offering. Hit to the left side, right on the ground to Fermin at short. He throws to first in time, and that will do it. However, a very big hit off the bat of Mayo. A 3-run home run has made it a 6-4 Cardinal lead as it's 7th inning stretch time down at Busch Stadium on the western banks of the mighty Mississippi. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. 6-4 Cardinals going bottom of 7. Yeah. Oh, boy. Caleb Ferguson. Give me a break sometime. Due up for the Cardinals in the bottom of the 7th inning is Jose Fermin, Herrera, and Walker. 1, 2, and 3 in the order. So insurance runs and insurance runs fast, I think it's fair to say. That I can get totally on board with. And take me out to the ball game has broken out in the chat. I guess it's kind of become a thing now, hasn't it? At least as far as I can tell, it seems to have become a thing. So we await the bottom of the 7th inning as they sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." Oh, Dennis, how much I wish that could be the case. How much I wish that could be the case. I think we're about 20 years too late on that. They're even doing pitch counts in Little League. I'm not kidding. I've seen it. All right, we are back here for the bottom of the 7th inning, top of the Cardinal order. Fermin, Herrera, and Walker. The Cardinals have a 6-4 lead in the bottom of the 7th inning. Well, Sinbin, I will do my best to deliver that outcome. It's good to see you. Righty matchup. The first pitch to Fermin. A sinker up and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Sanders back out there for a second frame. He sets at the letters and deals. Strike, 4-seam fastball, inner third below the belt. The count is 1-1. He sets at the letters, the 1-1 pitch. Strike, slider on the outer third at the knees, and the count is 1-2. That was a slider that acted very much like a frisbee. Sanders sets at the letters and deals. A slider down and in and clear out of the zone. No swing, says the first base umpire, and the count is 2-2. Well, thank you, Sinbin. Sanders sets and deals. Called strike 3. Slider on the inside quarter at the knees. It's being challenged here by Jose Fermin. So our first ABS challenge of the afternoon coming from Jose Fermin. What does it say? Nothing but zone. Confirmed called strike 3 for the first out of the inning. I was a little surprised when he called for it. The Cardinals, therefore, lose one of their 2 ABS challenges. They have 1 remaining in regulation. And the scorebug for Cardinals.TV took one away from the Orioles at the same time. Cardinals.TV, the first pitch to Herrera. Strike, slider on the inside quarter, about thigh high. The count is 0-1. Now, the 0-1 pitch. Chop foul down the third base side and out of play, and the count is 0-2. Well, Dave, I've seen it happen a number of times, even in this game. They may not do it as much as we like, but it definitely happens. The 0-2. And it's a ball on the outer third low. It's being challenged by Basallo, so an ABS challenge incoming for the Orioles. And it is overruled, and it is strike 3 looking there on the outer third. Just clipped that little part of the zone for the second out of the inning. Well, ABS has come charging in here. Here's Jordan Walker with nobody on and 2 out. Bottom of the 7th inning, 6-4 Cardinals. Come in, set Sanders. The pitch. Strike, 4-seam fastball on the outside quarter, thigh high. The count is 0-1. From the letters, Sanders deals. A 4-seam fastball down the pipe low. It's ruled a ball. And it looks like we may have another ABS challenge here. I think we do. Let's see what happens. We're still waiting on it. And something is up here because we're not seeing any ABS graphic. And they're calling it now a strike, despite the fact they showed no graphic whatsoever, and the count is 0-2. Weird. A technological dysfunction there? Possibly. Time is granted by the home plate umpire at the behest of Jordan Walker. And Sanders there throws the pitch anyway in eephus fashion, and the count remains 0-2. Oh, that's interesting, David. I didn't know that. Come in, set. The 0-2 pitch. Fouled back on the 4-seam fastball up and in. The count remains 0-2. Sanders sets at the letters. Sitting up away, Basallo. The 0-2 hit to the left side and into left field for a 2-out base hit to left off the bat of Jordan Walker. And that'll put a runner on first with 2 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Look to be possibly a sinker on the inside corner. Walker just turned around and the thing found the hole on the left side. Now here is Alec Burleson. Oh, hell. And the first pitch. Swinging strike on the four-seam fastball up and in. And the count is 0-1. Righty-lefty matchup. Come and set the 0-1. A four-seam fastball away and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. There we go. Need to power this baby up. The 1-1 pitch. A changeup away and out of the zone. The count is 2-1 to Alec Burleson, who is 2 for 3 this afternoon. Cummings set at the letters. And the 2-1 pitch. Hit to the right side, and it's picked up there at second by Holiday, who throws from his knees to first in time to get Burleson for the final out of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no walks, 1 left on. After 7 full innings of play, it is 6-4 Cardinals going to the top of the 8th inning. I'm Paul D, and if you're enjoying my call of Redbird action here this afternoon on Game Mike, you haven't done so already, but you feel I burned it, please do leave a like. Helps out the channel immensely. The likes help push out this stream to more Cardinal fans who can't really follow it every day. That about 3 or 4 different subscriptions, and Lord knows you'll have my eternal gratitude. And if you're digging what you see in here, and it's your first time here, you've been back multiple times and you're still digging it, hit subscribe. A wonderful growing community here on Game Mike. With that said, I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. 6-4 Cardinals going top of 8. Okay. And there we are. Hi, Jack. Magic 100. Thank you all so very much. Hey. Hey, Willie, it's just good to have you. All right, let's see here. Yeah. Due up for the Orioles, the top of their order. Holiday the Younger, Alonso, and Henderson. 1, 2, 3. George Soriano's coming in for the Redbirds. 27-year-old right-hander in 60 games has a 6-3 record with a 4.03 ERA. 58 innings pitched exactly, 57 strikeouts in that span, and a whip of 1.26. And we're back for the top of the 8th. Righty-lefty matchup here against Holiday the Younger. 1 for 3, the first pitch. A four-seam fastball away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Got out of the refinery early to run errands. Good to go, man. And the 1-0. A changeup up and away and out of the zone. The count is 2-0. George Soriano lately has not been great. That ERA has been steadily climbing. He sets at the belt. And the 2-0 pitch. A four-seam fastball away and out of the zone. The count is 3-0. Soriano sets at the belt and deals. Strike. Four-seam fastball outside corner at the knees. The count is 3-1. Back into the saddle is Holiday the Younger. From the stretch, Soriano deals. Hit foul down the first base line and out of play on the slider, well in. The count is 3-2. Hey, it's Nick Slash for life. Now the 3-2 pitch. Fouled down the left field line and out of play on the sinker up and away. The count remains 3-2. Soriano sets at the belt. The 3-2 pitch. Chopped up the middle. Picked up there by Fermin with the backhand. He throws first, but not nearly in time. A leadoff infield single for Holiday, and that'll put a runner on first with nobody out here in the top of the 8th inning for the Orioles. That one was almost perfectly placed. It was like, I'm not trying to make a pun here, but it was the old Baltimore chop in front of home plate. That thing had some airtime before it came down, and Jose Fermin was able to get his hands on the thing. Here's Pete Alonso. Righty-righty matchup against George Soriano. Runner on first, nobody out. The pitch. A slider in, ruled a ball. The count is 1-0. Alonso, he has the hat tricks and strikeouts today. The 1-0 pitch. Strike, change up down Broadway. The count is 1-1. Alonso gets back in the saddle. Runner on first, nobody out. Top of the 8th inning, 6-4 Cardinals. He sets at the belt and deals. Foul down the right field line and out of play on the four-seam fastball. The count is 1-2. I've been okay, Nick. How have you been? It's a 1-2 count to Pete Alonso. From the stretches, Soriano, the pitch. Swinging strike 3. Down, hack it goes. Pete Alonso for the first out of the inning. Pete Alonso has the golden sombrero this afternoon in strikeout swinging. And that'll be the first out of the top of the 8th. Now, here's a lefty Henderson who's 0 for 3. Righty-lefty matchup. Runner on first with one out. Top of the 8th inning, 6-4 Cards. Here's the pitch. He goes down towards second. Here's the throw. Here's the play. And he is safe at second. So Holiday, grand theft second base there with one out. Moves up 90 feet. The pitch is ruled a ball, so it's a 1-0 count. And there was an excellent jump there by Holiday, who really beat it easily by a fair amount as these things go. It was a good throw, and it was a good reception and tag by Fermin. It was simply too late. Well, hey, Willie, I know who you're talking about. He's someone I have a lot of esteem for. The 1-0. Hit out there into left center field. Over is Nate Church towards the track. And it falls in, and it bounces off the Amarin side. Picked up there by Baez, who throws it back in. Scoring easily from second is Holiday. And that'll be an RBI double here for the Orioles in the person of Henderson. And that'll cut it down to a 6-5 Cardinal lead. He just split the outfielders there in left center field. For Soriano, it appeared to be a changeup on the outside corner, belt high. And now it's 6-5. Now, here is the lefty Basallo. Righty-lefty matchup, tying run at second, the first pitch. Strike, slider on the outside corner. The count is 0-1. No, Willie, I know you're talking about District Nation, someone that I have a great deal of esteem for, but we all have preferences, and I'm glad you dig it here on Game Mike. That's what I would say. No, I definitely take it as a compliment, eh, Willie? I do. I certainly do. And now we have a delay of the game here at the moment. And apparently it's been overturned, and it's now a 1-0 count as opposed to an 0-1 count. For some reason, they're unable to show the ABS graphic when it's being called for. Don't ask me why. The 1-0. Hit foul down the first base line and out of play on the four-seamer down and in. The count's 1-1. No, it's cool, eh, Willie? Salo tightens up his batting gloves. A line out a strikeout swinging, and a foul out for Basallo. He's 0 for 3. Now the 1-1 pitch. Hit right up the middle, picked up there by Soriano, who throws over to third. There's the play, and he is out at third. And out at third is Henderson on an incredible play by Soriano. He picked it up on one hop, threw over to third base to Blaze Jordan, who took it in masterfully, put down the tag to get out Henderson for the second out of the inning. But Blaze Jordan is not getting up. He is down on his rear end. He seemed to have really taken it there from Henderson coming in towards third. But what a play by Soriano. Then over the Blaze Jordan, who receives it, puts down a beautiful tag to get Henderson for the second out of the inning. Oh boy. So he's down there. Ollie Marble and the training staff are out there. It's his high ankle, maybe his tibia that they're feeling out there, and his Achilles. It's hard to tell which one the actual pain is coming from based on the camera angle that we have, but they're doing all the standard first responder diagnostics. And, well, they can't diagnose it because they're not a physician, but you get my point. But really, it was a beautiful throw and a great tag on the arms there of Henderson. Soriano there, an amazing job getting that on one hop and throwing over to third accurately. Most relief pitchers in baseball don't do that well fielding, especially when they're not throwing to first base, and even then it's a problem. And they are helping him walk. You have Ollie Marmol under one armpit and the head trainer over the other, just because he doesn't feel he can put all the weight on it. And apparently the play is now under review. I think he's out, but we're going to find out. And that brings Nolan Gorman into the game at third base. So out comes Blaze Jordan. Hopefully he is not sidelined too long. And the call is confirmed out at third. Yes, I didn't take him long to figure that out. The play is confirmed. He's out at third. Blaze Jordan being helped back into the dugout. There's no medical card or anything like that. But it looks like something maybe high ankle, tibia, maybe even Achilles tendon oriented. It's very hard to say. But he needs all the help he can get getting down those steps of the dugout right now, and he's going back into the clubhouse into the trainer's room. Oh, wonderful. Throw us up. All right, let's fix this thing. So Nolan Gorman in there for the defensive substitution at third. Righty-righty matchup against Encarnacio Strand, and the first pitch. A four-seam fastball well up and in. The count is 0-1. There we are. It's a 1-0 count. Apparently that was not a strike, and there's the pitch. A four-seam fastball fouled back, and the count is 1-1. This has been just a screwy score bug all afternoon for Cardinals.tv. Encarnacio Strand is having quite a series, basically batting .500. Come set Soriano. The 1-1. Swinging strike on the sweeper, down and away, and the count is 1-2 strikes. Encarnacio Strand 2 for 3 this afternoon. Yeah, you speak the truth, Jeremiah. You speak the truth. He comes set. Now the 1-2. There's a fly ball out to left field. Over a few feet is Baez in front of the track. He makes the catch for the final out of the inning. However, the Orioles, they tag on one more, and we head to the bottom of the eighth inning. A 6-5 Cardinal lead. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. 6-5 Redbirds heading bottom of 8. Okay. There we are. Yeah, the bullpen has to be a major focus. It's a little weird because with the lockout looming, there's obviously a distinct possibility that the economics of baseball could change fundamentally. So I've been a little tepid on even thinking about it as a regular off season. Oh, I don't know about that, Jeremiah. I haven't thrown a pitch in battle in well over 2 decades. But I appreciate the sentiment. Hey, Jeff, how are you and Q-Man doing? He is sorely missed here. He brings so much flavor. Really one of our early adopters here on Game Mike. So we wait for the action to resume in the bottom of the 8th. Due up for the Cardinals, Baez, Gorman, and Urias. That's, of course, with Blaze Jordan being helped off the field with an apparent ankle complex injury. Whatever the specifics of that are, I do not know yet. Well, I don't know how this would affect you, Dennis, but in this case, it wouldn't be the players going on strike. It'd be the owners locking out the players. Oh, thank you, Richard. No, it does not sound good, C. John. You never like seeing that with any player, especially a rook like Blaze Jordan. And we're back for the bottom of the 8th. Here's Joshua Baez. And we have a new pitcher, Anthony Nunez. 48 innings pitch, a 4.31 ERA with a 1.33 whip. It's a righty-righty matchup here in the bottom of the 8th inning. 6-5 Cardinals. He comes set, deals to Baez. Swinging strike on the sweeper away. The count is 0-1. From the stretch, he deals. A sweeper on the outside corner ruled a ball. The count is 1-1. Baez, a double, a strikeout swinging, and a strikeout looking. He's 1 for 3. The pitch. Strike, sweeper on the inside corner below the belt. The count is 1-2. Oh, well, thank you, Jeremiah. I'm glad you enjoyed that much. Baez is back in the saddle. Nunez here comes set. The 1-2. Check swing on the sweeper away. Did he go around? Yes, he did, says the first base umpire. Down, hack, and goes Joshua Baez for the first out of the inning. Now here comes Nolan Gorman. Had a solo job last night. It's a righty-lefty matchup. Nobody on with 1 out. Bottom of the 8th, 6-5 Cardinals. He comes set. The pitch. Swinging strike on the changeup down and in. The count is 0-1 to Nolan Gorman, who from earlier in the year, prior to his demotion, was hitting 192. Nunez sets. The 0-1. Chop foul and rolls over to the Cardinal on deck circle. The count is 0-2. One thing is for sure, Nolan Gorman knows how to connect when he does. The 0-2 pitch. Swinging strike 3 on the changeup down and in for the second out of the inning. So, Guten Morgen, Guten Nachmittag, Guten Nacht. Nolan Gorman. Now here's Ramon Urias. Had a 2-run home run earlier. Righty-righty matchup. The first pitch. Strike. Cutter on the inner third below the belt. The count is 0-1. A foul out, a home run, and a foul out. 1 for 3 is Ramon Urias. Coming sets Nunez. The 0-1 pitch. Fouled back on the changeup on the inner third. The count is 0-2. Question is, do we see Riley O'Brien in the top of the ninth? There's going to be your headline. Now, the 0-2 pitch. A sweeper well away and off the plate, ruled a ball. The count is 1-2. Nunez sets at the letters and deals. A sweeper down and away and over the lefty batter's box, and the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Good day for both of us. Great day for the property, harvesting a great deal of produce so far. 2 bushels combined for us. Best of the year. Hope you are all well. The 2-2 pitch. A 4-seam fastball away, ruled a ball. The count is full, 3-2 to Ramon Urias. Now, what produce were you harvesting, Jeff? Nobody on with 2 out, bottom of the 8th. 6-5 Cardinals. It's a 3-2 count to Urias. Coming sets Nunez. He deals. Ball 4 on the sweeper, down and away. So Ramon Urias works a 2-out walk, and that'll put a runner on first with 2 out here in the bottom of the 8th. And here comes Nate Church. Over 2 on the afternoon with a walk. He has a runner on first with 2 out in the bottom of the 8th. 6-5 Cardinals. He sets, throws over to first. Back in time with the head first slide is Urias. Yeah, I know, Harold. You're not wrong. Righty-lefty matchup. And the first pitch, Nate Church. Strike, 4-seam fastball down and in, and the count is 0-1. Nunez sets and deals. A 4-seam fastball down and in, ruled a ball this time. The count is 1-1. Oh, undoubtedly, Richard. Nunez sets at the letters. The pitch. And the ball gets away from Basallo. Moving up 90 feet to second base is Urias. The pitch is obviously a ball. It'll probably be ruled a wild pitch. So it's a 2-1 count here to Nate Church with a runner in scoring position and 2 out. Let me see here. Yeah, that's definitely a wild pitch. I mean, he's usually supposed to block that, but that'd be a real jerk move to give him a pass ball. That wasn't his fault. It's a 2-1 count. Nunez sets. Runner leads off second. The 2-1. Fouled back on the changeup. Correction, 4-seam fastball upstairs. The count is 2-2. Nate Church gets back in the saddle. The count is even at 2-2. Runner leads off second. Come sets Nunez. He deals. A 4-seam fastball well up away and out of the zone. The count is full, 3-2 to Nate Church. Urias is at second with 2 out. Bottom of the 8th inning, 6-5 Cardinals. Nunez in the game for the Orioles. He sets at the letters. He deals to Church. Hit out there into left center field and in for a base hit. Coming home and scoring is Urias, and that will give the Cardinals a 7-5 lead on the 2-out RBI single to left center field by Nate Church. Nate, show me religion, and that gives the Cardinals a 7-5 lead. Oh, a very nice piece of 2-out hitting there by Nate Church. Almost insides out and on the outer third. A little bit of insurance run for the ninth, and boy, do they need it. And Nate Church actually goes to second on the play on the throw that was cut off to home, and here's the pitch. A cutter away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0 to Pedro Pages, who's 0 for 3. And Jeff with the $1 super. Thank you so much, Jeff. Common sets Nunez, the pitch. Hit out there into center field. Right there is Cowser. He makes the catch in right center field for the final out of the inning. However, 1 run, 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 left on. After 8 full innings of play, it is 7-5 Redbirds going to the top of the 9th inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. 7-5 Cardinals going top of 9. Okay. Okay, that'll make sense. Cool. Oh, yeah. We drink to Jeff Coleman. How can we not? And I got news for you, folks. Guess who's coming into this game? That's right. Riley O'Brien. Hold on to your butts. We'll see what the afternoon holds for us here. Who knows? He has a 2-run lead. Which means absolutely nothing, unfortunately. I don't like ripping on Riley O'Brien. I don't. I get no pleasure from it. But, you know, when you're going bad, you're going bad. And I'm going to call it when I see it. Yes, Quinn Matthews. Going tomorrow night. 6:15 p.m. Central Time, first pitch at Busch Stadium. I'll be live here at 7:05 p.m. Central Time tomorrow for the night game, the first of 3 in a weekend set against the Pittsburgh Pirates. And we're back to the action. I know. Due up for the Orioles, Beavers, Mayo, and Cowser. 6, 7, and 8 in their order. Here's Riley O'Brien and the first pitch. Strike. Sinker down Broadway. The count is 0-1. To Beavers. 52 2/3 innings pitches here for O'Brien. The 0-1. Strike. Slider on the outside corner. The count is 0-2 to Beavers. He sets at the belt. The 0-2. A sweeper down and in and well out of the zone. Not giving chases Beavers. The count is 1-2. Beavers is 0 for 1 with a couple of walks. Coming sets O'Brien, the 1-2 pitch. Called strike 3, sinker on the inside quarter. Challenge immediately by Beavers, so ABS challenge incoming. It was initially called a strike. Let's see. For the first out of the inning. Just clipped that outside quarter for the first out. A little bit of showmanship there, huh? Yeah. All right. Here is Mayo, 3-run home run earlier, the first pitch. And he popped him up into shallow center field. Called for it is Fermin. Called off by Arias. It makes the catch for the second out of the inning. So Mayo pops out on 1 pitch for the second out. Now here comes the center fielder, Cowser, to face Riley O'Brien. It'll be a righty-lefty matchup. Everybody on their feet at Busch Stadium. He comes set, the first pitch. A sweeper down and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. O'Brien sets. O'Brien deals. Strike, sinker on the inside quarter. The count is 1-1. From the belt is O'Brien. He deals. Hit right back up the middle and into center field for a 2-out base hit off the bat of Cowser. And that'll put a runner on first with 2 out here in the top of the 9th. The Cardinals have a 7-5 lead. Now here comes Leody Taveras, the left-hander, so it'll be a righty-lefty matchup. Runner on first with 2 out. Leody Taveras, of course, represents the tying run at the plate. Tomato plants. Oh boy, I'm impressed. It's not easy growing good tomatoes. And the first pitch. Strike. Sinker on the inner third at the knees. The count is 0-1. Infield defense heavily shifted towards right with the lefty Taveras. He sets and deals. Swinging strike on the sweeper down and in. Taking second base there with defensive indifference is Cowser, and the count is 0-2. Everybody on their feet there at Busch Stadium. Runner on second with 2 out. It's an 0-2 count. Come and set the 0-2. Hit to the right side. Picked up by Burleson. Tosses to O'Brien covering in time. And that will do it. 7-5 Cardinals is your final. And with that victory, the first time in 6 games, here is the victory tune. 7-5 Redbirds is your final. Take it in, folks. It's been too long. Play your air guitars wherever you may be, folks. So, 7-5 Cardinals is your final. For a game that had to begin with an opener, and it required a fair amount of Cardinal offense, Riley O'Brien then came in and did the job he hasn't been able to do very well in easily 2 weeks, but he did it. So 7-5 is your final. The win this afternoon goes to Luis Gastelum. He improves to 4-3. The loss goes to Trevor Rogers. He falls to 9-9. Riley O'Brien picks up his 34th save. With the win this afternoon, the Cardinals improved to 67-68. They're 1 game under 500. The Orioles, with their loss this afternoon, fall to 65-69. They are 4 games under 500. 7-5 Cardinals is your final. I am so glad to be able to say that. I can't even begin to tell you. But that's the story here, folks. 7-5 Redbirds. They salvaged the 3-game set. A miracle indeed, Rick. A miracle indeed. And we will take it. No doubt. So I'll be back tomorrow for the 7:15 scheduled first pitch at Busch Stadium, Central Time, of course, against the Pittsburgh Pirates. I'll be live here at 7:05 p.m. Central Time for the play-by-play live stream on Game Mic. So against the Pirates, the first of 3 in a weekend set, the night game, 7:15 p.m. Central Time. I'll be live here at 7:05 p.m. Central Time for the play-by-play live stream. I hope to see you all here. Dave Elliott, awesome call, Paul. Thank you, Dave Elliott. Jazz Wolf, go Cards from Tacoma. How about that? Harold Houseman, glad I caught the end of this one at least. Good call as always, Paul. Hi, Rick. Everybody, see you all tomorrow. Jord Polo, thank you for today, Paul. Your stream was awesome. Already reading for the next stream, brother. Gotta hope we end the streams with a win from here on out. I agree. See John, yes. And the sweet sound of victory. Player of the game, Blaze Jordan. Yeah, I hope he's all right. Can the Cards move to the American League? Boy, especially the American League West, Sam. It would be no issue there. You got it, C. John. Happy to be of service. Richard Talley. Thank you, Paul. You got it, Richard Talley. Richard Jenkins. Good job, Paul. Thanks for the game. It is my pleasure, of course. Well, DJ Nick Fly. Great job today, Paul. See you all tomorrow. See you right there. DJ Nick Fly. 8-foot plants, oh my. Yeah. Jeff Coleman, another wonderful call, Paul D. See y'all soon. I will see you all tomorrow night at 7:05 p.m. Central Time. Finally, yes, sir. Thank you, Paul, for the great call. It is my absolute pleasure, Ron. It really is. This has been a presentation of Bombers Game Mike. 7-5 Cardinals over the Orioles is your final. They salvage the final game of this 3-game set. Bombers Game Mike, over and out. Be well, both you and yours, wherever you may be. 7-5 Cardinals over Baltimore is your final. I will see you tomorrow night at 7:05 p.m. Central Time for the play-by-play live stream here on Game Mike for the 7:15 p.m. Central Time start at Busch Stadium against the Pirates. Y'all have a great evening, both you and yours, wherever you may be watching or listening. I'll see you tomorrow night, folks. Have a great rest of your day.